when people say, I changed my mind, we have to say, welcome back to reality. Let's all be Americans together, right? Because what's happening is not only happening to Democrats, it's happening to everyone. And when the Medicaid cuts go in, old people are going to start to die. To die. What he's done yet hasn't even hit us yet.
Right.
And if he's not stopped now, we have lost our country. And I don't know, Nicole, how it is that some people cannot see it. My therapist said, why are you so upset? And I said to her, why are you not?
Yeah. Yeah, I have that conversation too, because the gaslighting that I think you're alluding to, if you're a thoughtful, informed person, you do stop and say, well, maybe it is me.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to a Monday night edition of DNV. I'm your host, Vicky. Over here, we have a little SD, but a whole lot of balls. And how is everyone tonight? I just thought that was hilarious. Rosie, admitting that her therapist thinks she's fucking crazy. Yeah. And the other one, oh my God, I'm crazy too. Oh, jeez. I'm not going to be turning this into some political channel. I just saw it on Twitter today. I thought it was funny, and I'm probably going to carry the shtick over. Just funny little things that I see that I'm going to start the stream off with. Also, apologies for not being here yesterday. But you know what? I realized for I don't know how long now, I've been busting my ass every Sunday to produce content for the stream. I work on Saturdays, right? So I have most of it doesn't even fall together till the end of the week. And so I bust my ass, spend it all day editing video, getting screenshots, pulling shit together, trying to decide what I'm going to do. And I don't want to do it that way anymore. I want to kind of enjoy my Sundays a little bit more, give myself a chance to make a real fucking dinner, just breathe a little bit. So I'll probably be doing Mondays. I don't think Tuesdays, but I'll probably move this over to Monday. If you guys think I should start at a different time, like earlier at 9, like I usually do, just drop it in the comments and we'll, I'll take it all into consideration. Hello, Jose Garcia. Hey, Snugs. Hi, Aldous. How is everybody tonight? Linkovich, Kirk, how's it going? Man, oh man. Pitt's still doing shit numbers, even with a Dale Keown cover. I think it made maybe $4,000 after that cover was announced in the first overnight. Just sad as hell. You had Ethan. Oh, God, some guy on Twitter. What a freaking dipshit, right? So Ethan did in the last week probably something like 8 hours of content EFAPing John's long box. 8 hours. It was insanity. And both of the clips were only 30 minutes long. Just nuts. He went after Chuck Dixon, but mostly he used that 8 hours of EFAPing John's long box in order to just continue talking shit about Eric July. It was all he brought up. He brought it up on Malin's launch stream for this stupid ass Black Riding Hood book. We're going to talk about that launch stream. Oh, yeah. Yeah, what a fucking How long Malin been doing this and he still can't get shit right? I can't. It was just awful. So we've got that. I've got, of course, Ethan. I'm not going to give you or subject you to even close to the 8 hours. I just have two short clips from the Dixon interview with John's Longbox that Ethan EFAP'd. That's it. But we're also going to talk about Indiegogo's new terms of service. I got a couple helpful hints for people, but mostly, ooh, people. If I didn't know better, and maybe I don't, I think actually it reads like they had Comicsgate in mind when they wrote that shit up. Like, how can we kick Comicsgate to the curb when they wrote that shit up? And I'm going to show you where. And that's, all dependent on whether or not they actually enforce the damn thing. I got a tip from a student of God about some stream Shane Davis was on. So I've got a clip of that. Student of God had tweeted about it, so some of you may have seen it, but I'm tying it. I've found another old clip and some other old tweets, and it's going to be just fun. But first, let's go ahead and start with a couple of updates that we've got here in the dumpster fire round. Yay! First off, there was initially a hearing was scheduled in Poulter versus Van Sciver. That hearing has been rescheduled to... it's so hard to tell here because this court system, man, they kind of suck ass. So there was adjournment request by both attorneys. Keith Leonard was going to be out of town, and Carranos, well, it seems like nobody in Carranos's family is healthy because his mother-in-law was in the hospital. So of course, he just didn't have enough time to answer to the motion that he chose to file. I know, crazy, right? It's like not meeting your Indiegogo deadline for fulfillment. He knew he was going to have to, do it, but he suddenly didn't have time. So the court has either rescheduled it for, see, either way, it didn't happen over the weekend. I think it's going to happen next month. I may have kind of messed up the screenshot a little bit, but I want to say it's going to be in October. Then we have a new motion in the H3H3 versus everybody lawsuits. This one is the one tied to Denims, where they agreed to get a subpoena for the Reddit editors and moderators. And they all filed their own separate motion to quash the subpoenas. They all remained anonymous. And there was definitely a general theme to all of their declarations. And it went something like this one that I'm going to read. Since the filing of this lawsuit, I felt deep frustration with needing to protect my First Amendment rights over such a clear abuse of the copyright system and subpoena process. Many of my fellow moderators have endured a deep psychological impact and fear of retaliation to the point that Reddit admins offered us free subscriptions to privacy software that would help remove our PII from the internet in the case we are doxxed and harassed by the outcomes of these lawsuits. If this court allows plaintiff subpoenas to go forward, I fear it will only embolden plaintiffs to file further, in my mind, baseless lawsuits based merely on speculation and unfounded theories of conspiracy. Ethan Klein has already threatened to do so against you, O'Brien Potatoes, and many other critics. If unmasked in this lawsuit, whoops, sorry, I went a little too far, I will undoubtedly be named as a defendant. Yeah, you might. In the other two lawsuits, which are in two different states, forcing me to hire multiple attorneys licensed in these different states to defend myself, in addition to my fears of my family and my family's safety. This is a financial burden that would ruin me. But of course, that's what the plaintiff wants. And while I also share deep concerns about my safety if unmasked, I am far more concerned about how my family and friends will be impacted and potentially harassed online should my unmasking lead to misrepresentations of my character and impact the reputation of my family. While I'm confident that any criticism I publish was protected free speech, should the legal system fail me in my rights to anonymity not to be protected, I worry deeply how this will impact the people I love most. Yeah, it's mostly all that. It's, oh my God, I have been in emotional turmoil. This is so fucking hard for me being involved in all of this. The threat of having to actually hire an attorney and go to court and defend my actions against a man who will dox me. He's gonna dox me with public court records. He's gonna dox me like we doxed him and his friends and his family and encouraged people to call CPS, and someone sent a skull to his fucking house. But yeah, we had nothing to do with that, Your Honor. We're all innocent motherfuckers over here who didn't do nothing. Fuck them. Every single one of them. Fuck them. They created and nurtured that snake pit of a Reddit. They can pay through the nose like anyone else. That's my own personal opinion. I mean, here's my very maybe, I don't know. But it was pages and pages. It was all of them wrote out declarations, and they were all, some of them went so far into the weeds trying to explain shit that just didn't need explanation. But all of them, they all boiled down to, this is just so hard for me, and oh my God, if my name gets out there, it's going to make my life so hard, Your Honor, and it's just so unfair that Ethan Klein would do this to me after everything I've done to him. Yeah. Pretty fucking sad. So enough of the catch up and the update. We're going to talk about Shane for just a few minutes. This all kicked off from one of my tweets. This was July of last year. I had watched a video of Shane where he claimed that he had been canceled, and he'd always said that he hadn't been canceled, right? I mean, the stories always kind of like bounce back and forth. He was canceled, he was not canceled, he was canceled. And I saw this video where he's talking about how he was canceled, and then he says, I was never canceled. I never said I was canceled. People need to stop trying to rewrite history because I never said that. Okay.
I say, and then run with it. Do the research before you go out here, and you literally have people paying you money asking you, are you going to retract this statement? Why would somebody even do that, dude? Because you blatantly took a clip out of context and you're maneuvering it and shifting it into, oh, I practice cancel culture. I have been canceled. When's the last time anybody has seen me do anything at Marvel or DC? I am literally cannot work for the American comic book industry.
So then after that, he quote tweeted Student of God with this: I wasn't canceled. I became Comicsgate. I made the choice. Then I can't see it because the StreamYard's fucking logo. And DC never asked me to work again. An industry friend came to me and wanted to let me know I had been canceled for being Comicsgate. The last piece I drew for the mainstream was a cover for Marvel that took 6 months to pay me for after I came to Comicsgate. Whatever the case, joining CG was my choice. It was his choice, people. Just keep that in mind. Because he changes the story. He changes it.
Rob's writes me an email when I'm looking for script about a month later. So I've had, I'm supposed to be on this book. We're losing a month on the deadline. They've signed me up for 8 issues of this Batman run, by the way. Mm-hmm. They have one done. That's the inventory for whenever we get behind a single issue that still hasn't printed. And I go, hey, anything about that script? And he writes me an email about his dog getting attacked the day before walking and how he had to take it to the vet and everything. And I'm like, I write him back. I'm like, man, that really sucks. But any news on that script?
Yeah.
and a day goes by, no response. The second day I'm thinking, okay, well, the script's probably getting together because it's, somebody else's responsibility. And I get a phone call and he's like, hey, Shane, this is Rob. I'm like, hey, what's going on, man? He's like, you got time to talk? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I just want you to know I've went through the entire DC offices. And me and you aren't seeing eye to eye. And I've before you go to anybody else, I've went through every chain of command, and you're being fired.
Wow.
And I'm like, but we have an agreement. I'm like, I've actually literally turned down some other work and cleared my schedule because Valiant was trying to hire me also on an Exo Manowar thing. And I'm like, I've actually turned down work for this agreed, like we have paperwork. He's like, I know, but I went through all the channels and in the offices and I fired you. And I remember going to Dan, I remember going to Larry Gannum, and they're telling me to write specific emails to him. But in the end, Dan kind of said, like, you have to understand, if I need the editors to do my books, so it wasn't a lot Dan could do. And I'm like, the fuck is going on here? An editor at DC Comics basically told me it's because I had posted a picture of me in 2016 I took a selfie with a Trump bus and had posted on.
Just look at him. Like, does he look like he's telling the truth, people? Suddenly he was fired because he stood in front of a fucking Trump bus
Online. And it's like, wow. And what it was, he had spoke, I think, in Charlotte. And it was at my local Walmart, and there was a KFC. And that was fucking Trump sitting outside KFC eating fucking chicken in a bus. I was like, I gotta take a picture of this. And I never would have thought, me showing support for Donald Trump would mean that years later I would be fired, and not just fired, but made sure everybody in the DC Comics office knew I was not to be hired again.
Yeah.
And that fucking ruined me, because all it took was that happening at DC Comics, and all of a sudden Marvel doesn't want to fuck with me.
Damn, that story stinks. Damn, does that story stink? Are you telling me Shane Davis came into fucking Comicsgate without telling people he'd been fired because of standing in front of a Trump bus? Really? Huh? Oh, and the look on his face was so squirrely. you know? And the timing, like, wait, so he already knew, Ethan had been, quote, canceled, quote, fired for wearing a Trump hat, but he didn't think that that picture of him in front of a Trump bus would do it. Like, this is all just so fucking stupid. There is no goddamn way that Shane Davis wouldn't have told this story sometime in the last fucking 5 years on a goddamn Comicsgate live stream while he's trying to get money for his fucking Starlight Cats book or Inglorious Rex. Shane was hanging around the fringes of Comicsgate, all sniffing around, but mostly Shane was sniffing through all the back rooms of Facebook groups to see what dirt he could dig up to pass along to Ethan. We know. We understand what happened and how it all worked. But now suddenly he was fucking fired. Never fucking fired. The book he was on seemed to have fell apart. And if that was because nobody wanted to work with Shane, it's probably just because nobody fucking likes him. Like, I don't even think, it does not, I watch Malin and Ethan and Shane all interacting as a trio, and I just don't believe that John Malin really likes Shane Davis. But yes, Inglorious Rex was just another in a long line of Comicsgate self-insert books. Yeah. And seems like the real reason would have been Shane not caring about the dude's dog, and honestly valid. Damn Skippy, you better give a shit about the dog. Man. Graham Nolan's still complaining about Superman on Twitter because Superman cared too much and like got too angry and went kind of John Wickish over the dog. But I say it's just because, you know, his entire the foundation of his life and what he'd built his character and what he thought his purpose was had just been wiped out, and he was on kind of shaky ground, and he kind of had a good reason to get emotional. That's my personal opinion. Maybe it's too girly for some, but that's not good enough for Graham Nolan. Yeah. God, I hate these people. They I enjoyed Superman, by the way. I thought it was fun. I don't care if you didn't like it, because we can all agree to disagree on some things, and agreeing to disagree is actually kind of healthy. It's very healthy. It's how people who just want to have debates don't end up getting shot. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to Ethan. Ethan trying to crap on Chuck Dixon, of all things.
Werewolf 13 says John's right. People throw the word great and legend around like it's candy. Chuck is good, but he's not Chris Claremont. John's short dong hates X-Men. Oh. Yeah. I think it's that, you know, you get to a certain age and people call you legend.
Oh, and I apologize tremendously. That wasn't my edit that caused Ethan to freeze up like that. It seems that Mr. I'm going to be a professional YouTuber instead of drawing my comics still hasn't managed to figure out how to live stream any faster than it, like dial-up speed. So he's lagging like there's no tomorrow. Weirdly enough, does not happen when he joins someone else's live stream. Only seems to happen on his own. And yes, he is still streaming. I'm sorry. He's still streaming at 720. I know I am too, but I haven't had enough time to just sit down and fuck with the OBS yet to stream like a real person.
Now listen, I was being called legend by DC Comics, the legendary Ethan Van Sciver. when I was in my 30s. You know what I mean? Like, I was being called legendary back then because I am legendary. You know what legendary means? There are legends about you. What are the legends about Chuck Dixon? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute. There are legends about me. People talk about me long after I've been gone from DC and Marvel.
Because you're an asshole. That's why they still talk about you. Because you're an asshole.
Still talking about sex and X-Men, for example. That worked its way into Time magazine. It's weird. People talk about you. People have rumors about you that have blown up, you know, in terms of your work in comics. And, you know, it's all mostly good stuff, or even if it's kind of like infamy, like infamous stuff. That's what legendary is. Being around for a long time doesn't really make you a legend. It just doesn't, you know. Bigfoot is a legend. You know who's a legend? Bigfoot.
So, Chuck is not a legend. There are no stories that you can tell about Chuck. There are. That there are stories we can tell about Chuck. And some of them are even better than Ethan. And I would say have more far-ranging consequences than just one book that he managed to put the word sex into the drawings. Now, this story is relayed to me by a friend is just beautiful. Because, you know, Chuck wrote Teen Titans, Robin, all sorts of shit. And Chuck's very, very straight-laced, old Christian man, you know? Like, he just is. And being sort of this straight-laced old dude who was probably old when he was young because he's just so fucking straight-laced, had issue and difficulties drawing anything that was even writing anything that was slightly sexual in nature. But everybody had friendships. Oh my, did everybody have friendships? And this sort of led to the idea among certain aspects of fandom that in actuality, a lot of these characters were gay. Artists started playing into it as well, and so they do sort of like this soft lesbian porn kind of thing whenever the women were talking in these panels, and as part of this legacy and lore and legend, we now have gay Nightwing. I'm sorry, people, but that is Chuck Dixon's fault. Yes, it is Chuck Dixon's fault, because the more he got agitated, the more people would just ramp it up until now it all exists. So that's a legend about Chuck Dixon. Like, come on. If you didn't know, sorry. If you did and I ruined the story, just let me know in the comments. But from there, from Ethan calling himself a legend, which is never how that really works, and I guess unless you're like LeBron or something, or Ethan Van Sciver. There was a little bit where they started talking, where Chuck was talking a bit about the actual business now of making comic books. And Ethan, I don't know if he does it on purpose because it fits his narrative. Who am I kidding? Of course he does it on purpose, but you'll see it. I'll point it out as we go along here.
Why is everybody nuts? Why am I in this world? I am in hell. I am completely and totally in hell. I'm just in hell. I didn't ask for this. I did not ask for this. I didn't ask to run into any of these characters. I have no use for any of them. And yet they're here in my world. Welcome to hell. You're stuck with us. All right. Is this what it's come to? It is. This is what Comicsgate has been reduced to, making puppet shows of our enemies.
Yes. Yes, that is exactly what Comicsgate has been reduced to. And he thinks he's kidding. Like, unless he knows it deep in his heart that this is what he has wrought, that hell that you are in right now, Ethan, is the hell of your own fucking making. Welcome to Comicsgate, motherfucker.
And I know calling Rippaverse crowdfunding is not the right term, but for me, it's a differentiation without distinction. I mean, I know the books are pretty much done beforehand.
Oh, they're done. When you see the first solicitations, they're already in the warehouse.
So, I mean, there seems to be a cottage industry online with just going nuts over Rippa. Do you have anything to say about that? I'll keep my thoughts to myself until after you talk.
Well, Eric is a smart guy, and he's got a lot of smart people working for him, and they're very enthusiastic. And he's looking toward the future. Crowdfunding is great, but it's not going to last forever for comics. If you're crowdfunding a new lawn sprinkler or something like that, that's a different deal. But for comics, the wheels are going to come off eventually. And Eric knows this, and all the smarter crowdfunder people know that. And so, he's looking toward the future, toward retail, toward all the rest of it. So basically, he's gathering a huge inventory of content to make that happen. And along the way, it's profitable. What he's doing is highly profitable, and he's kept every promise to both his creators and his readers. If he says you're going to get this book on this week, you're going to get it. Yeah. I mean, everybody has this, but you have people that come at you, with daggers online. But I've never had anybody come up to me at a convention and say it's over for Marvel and DC. Well, it's already over for Marvel and DC, but it'll be a new comic book. If Rippa, Compass Comics, Brian Polito, guys like that, can move to retail, it'll be a whole new day.
Right. Are you familiar with Ben Dunn and
Yeah, I don't know, man. I hear where you're coming from, Chuck, but again, a lot of people are like, where we need to be moving is more towards this kind of content commentary that I appreciate. A lot of these guys are just like, you know what evolution is? You know what the next phase is for Comicsgate or for the indie movement here? We got to be moving over to the mainstream and doing what the mainstream does. And those are like people's natural instincts. Things aren't going to be the same. Things aren't going to work for us until we're in the mainstream. And I mean, we have so many advantages over the mainstream. For one thing, like I said, we have an audience that's accustomed to paying $25, $35 and
Okay, so first off, I'm going to interrupt him here. First off, I like how he conflates just doing business like normal fucking people and moving to retail and getting your book into shops like normal people is somehow becoming the mainstream. It's not. He's using mainstream because for him and for Comicsgate, mainstream is interchangeable with Marvel and DC. So suddenly he's like, oh, this is where he gets to make that leap into Eric July is just trying to beat Marvel and DC because suddenly he's in the mainstream. No, motherfucker, it's still indie comics. You get your shit in the stores. You should be on Amazon. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if you walked into your neighborhood fucking anything and saw your book there? Traveling, see your book in a fucking airport or even have, even a fucking bus station would be kind of cool. Like that's what Chuck's talking about. Crowdfunding is not a long-term business plan. despite how much Ethan and John want it to be, especially on someone else's platform, right? Right? And now he's going to go on into like suddenly we're used to selling you these $35 books. Listen to this.
Eric's pays dollars for a comic book. You will not find that in the mainstream. You will be selling the same material for 1/3 of the price maximum in the mainstream.
Nobody's talking about doing the exact same thing as, quote, the mainstream. People are just talking about expanding into retail and doing retail. Getting away from the crowdfunding model because eventually it's going to crash. Retail. Actually selling your shit and using the money to make more shit like businesses do. And you know what? You can be a niche. You can be a niche producer who's putting out stuff that's more expensive, higher quality, whatever you want to fucking call it. And if people are going to buy it, people buy it. You train them to buy your extra super duper book. Listen, when I find an author, I want to read all their shit, right? You know, there's like a year wait between a hardcover book and the paperback. They do that on purpose so that it makes me want to go out and buy the hardcover instead of waiting a year for a paperback. Well, why can't you do that same kind of thing with your comics? I don't know. Gee, what an idea. Oh, what would that would be like a prestige print. And then of course you just have your media cup. Yeah. Fucking retail, not mainstream, just retail.
And so you're going to have to sell 3 times as many comics in the mainstream without the advantages of being associated with Marvel, DC, Image, Boom, any of the big companies. Can you do that? You think you can do that?
Tim and Mark are doing that. Tim and Mark are selling books in Japan, in Japanese. Like, they're on Amazon. They're in comic book shops. Yeah. Yeah. You can do that. Well, I mean, you can't, Ethan, because you'd actually have to put out product. But yeah, people can do that.
You think you could sell 3 times as many comic books in the mainstream as you could sell directly to a willing audience that's watching you
Once
on
again,
YouTube
you don't have to do that, Ethan.
that already is interested in you and what you're doing? You think you can do that?
Right? It's not that difficult. I think that may have been the end of my video. But
Why is everybody nuts? Why am I in this world?
like, I don't get how long does he think that crowdfunding can actually last, that this will all work out? Haven't we already seen what crowdfunding in general is down, especially for comics? Not in general as bad as it is for Comicsgate. Like, everybody outside of Comicsgate is still doing better than everybody in Comicsgate. That's just a given. But it's not gonna work if you're completely and totally at the mercy of these companies like Indiegogo or even Fund My Comic, because their payment processor can say fuck you too, and there goes Fund My Comic. Okay, so starting October 16th, there's a new terms of service over at Indiegogo. And for some reason, people only ever read the terms of service. which is all just the boilerplate, weird legal stuff, right? But what you really need to look at, if you want to know what they are requiring, what they want you to do, is to look at the creator guidelines and the content policy. Okay? All of these all goes into effect October 16th. It is currently 9:29. So, just a helpful hint for all of you out there, and this isn't a huge deal, but they will have an AI policy. And their AI policy will include things like any AI-based text. So let me just read it. If you use generative artificial intelligence tools, including but not limited to AI-based text, image, or video, to produce any content published on your Indiegogo project page, such as campaign descriptions, visual assets, promotional videos, or other marketing material, or in the creation or development of the product offered as part of the campaign, you must clearly disclose this on your project page. So this is for people, especially like if you're hiring Camel Moon to do your intro video, or you're using AI in any way, shape, or form. Now, I have no idea. You may want to just disclose it on your page somewhere. It could be at the very bottom of your Indiegogo page. You don't have to put it like right up at the top. But if you currently have an Indiegogo open, I would suggest that you go ahead and edit the page if you're using AI for your trailer video. Okay? So, there's my helpful hint to everybody because I care about you. I truly do. And next. Now this one was interesting. I saw this. This is what made me think that they were totally thinking about Comicsgate. So this is also under the campaign creator portion of this, and it says Indiegogo may also decline projects based on internal risk assessment. This assessment may consider, among other factors, and here's the last one on the list, direct or indirect connections with individuals or entities previously involved in non-compliant, misleading, or banned campaigns where such association raises reasonable concerns. Now, I would normally say big whoop. There is a list of Comicsgate creators out there that Indiegogo has, and that list of Comicsgate creators, many of whom have broken terms of service on Indiegogo in the past, many of whom spend quite a large portion of their online lives doing nothing but going after other creators. And that list was not given to Indiegogo by PTP or Phil Diaz. No. That list was given to Indiegogo by Robert Romano, and it can be found by anyone at comicsgate.org. So yes, if you are one of those people who was non-compliant, misleading, or had a banned campaign, I wonder how JDA still fits into the mix. Banned campaign, kicked off of Indiegogo. I don't know. It might be a little bit of a reach. I see I have a nice little fight going on in the comments. Have fun, everybody. I'm just going to ignore it. And their content policy has a few new additions that will affect Comicsgate and will affect creators currently on Indiegogo. So Indiegogo is now going to require that you actually respond to the comments on your Indiegogo page. Yes, all of the comments must be answered unless they themselves violate the terms of service. So I guess if you call Ethan Van Sciver a fucking asshole in the comments of Indiegogo, he doesn't have to respond. But if you politely ask him for a refund, he does. So that's something if they enforce it. Also, once again, take note, you cannot use any part of Indiegogo to spam or self-promote your campaign or rewards to others, users or contributors. Yeah, no cross-promotion again. Also, no mean-spirited content intended to humiliate or intimidate. Content targeting protective groups, radical ideological content, pornographic content, content requiring an 18 plus rating. But my favorite, everybody, is this one. Prohibited content now includes promoting or representing any individual, group, or organization that promotes hate or that uses hate symbols and or hate terms on their website as defined by the Anti-Defamation League. Come October, when this policy goes into effect, John Malin's book will be in violation of Indiegogo's terms of service so hard it can't even be described. I can't even, man. Like, this is so fucking good. I can't. If you click the link, it takes you to the page of symbols, and right there is KKK. Man. Yeah, you guys can keep fighting, because now I'm going to go ahead and we're going to talk about Malin's god-awful fucking campaign on a couple different levels. But this dude, so you get Dixon saying really crowdfunding is just not so good. You got Ethan on a platform where they will bump you off for your associations. And now he's associated with someone who's got the KK fucking K all over his Indiegogo. And the book itself. And next month just can't come quickly enough for me, people. In the same week, we're gonna get Poulter and Ethan, and we're gonna get Indiegogo's terms of service kicking into gear. Yeah, this is gonna be good. But here's his launch of the fucking thing. And oh my lord. Oh my lord. Oh. Hey, wait. There we go.
We are offering, for anybody that did not read it, we're reprinting the first book that was originally published through Comicsgate Arena. That's the first book that launched the line, Ethan, entire book line.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those things that, like, it wasn't a difficult sell. We got a lot of projects that require a lot of yappity yap to get people to buy them, and I was just telling Katie that I pitched this in 3 seconds to Director X, and he was interested. It took 3 seconds to pitch it to him, and he was like, "Where do I get it? Where?"
Producers make movies. Yeah, Whoopi, you talked to some unknown director somewhere, and he thought that John Malin's ridiculous book was a good idea. Was that before you found out about how issue 2 is gonna go? Because John adds some incredibly out there shit.
Absolutely.
John is not going to pull any punches with this, just like he didn't pull punches in the first book.
That's true. Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. We got the KKK in here, but they're not just the easy bad guy. They're the complex good guy. And I said, what if the KKK were and always have been the good guy? So yeah, you're going to get Black Riding Hood.
We can only hope, Mark. We can only hope that will happen. Yes.
2 or 1. This is going to be the original 10-page story in color with that corrected page for that stray word balloon.
You know what you could do, John? What you should do, just do me a favor for the fans that bought the first one. Change the color slightly on this cover. Like maybe make it more red or more yellow or even blue. I don't know. But change the colors just so that people know that even though it says Malin cut on.
Yeah, just so they know that book was like some super special limited edition. But yeah, John, it's such a good idea for you to go ahead and just republish it with the exact same color. Make no real changes, you stupid motherfucker. How did you not even think about that? This is how much care and concern that John puts into all of this thing.
On the first one, you want to do a little bit of variance there.
Looking pretty smashing. Look at that. He's got this massive flaming cross back here. And Kyle really made that this motherfucker goes in there and I don't know what he does. Is he painting all these flames in? I don't know how he does.
And once again, I apologize. So Ethan, of course, is streaming in 720, and now he's on John Malin's, and John Malin streams in 720. And I apologize that I'm still streaming in 720. At least I apologize for it, even though they won't.
This is shit. It's crazy.
Doesn't look like Kyle. Maybe it looks like Kyle. I don't know. Yeah,
it's Kyle. And then there's cover C by our friend Ethan Van Diver.
Yeah.
Can I add add-ons after the fact or no? How does that work? You said we should be pushing back on the boundaries that the SJWs had put on us, which was if you're white, you shouldn't be writing black characters. It's okay that John wrote it because these are black characters saying it. So now I got the KKK in here, and they're gonna say it, and they're gonna say it with a hard R. Shit.
When you drew
myself
that
on the back a little bit.
Yeah, when you drew that, I thought that was so fucking cool, man. What you did with his hoodie.
Yeah.
We made the hood looser and the sweater part of it tighter.
Yeah. And then Kyle went in there and put that big crazy lightning bolt.
Is it really Kyle? Kyle is the colorist there?
Yeah, look. Right here.
Oh my god. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's already beaten the action figure campaign for Eric July, the Islam action figure. Wow. This is a wild idea. This is a crazy, wild idea that is going to infuriate Marvel and DC. This is the kind of thing. This is what they think, guys. This is what they think of us. They'll take this completely the wrong way. They'll call this racist.
It is racist. Everything about this book is racist. They're going for ironic racism doesn't just erase the fact that the book is fucking racist.
That's why they wear the hoods to protect their necks. They have crucifixes to stun the enemy, and they burn crucifixes in front of black people's homes, not to hurt them or to frighten them, but to keep the black vampires away.
Very exciting.
Zeno says John's rehabilitating the Klan. I don't know if I'd go that far, guys.
Well, I would. Now listen, John, here's the thing.
They're going to be mean motherfuckers is what they are.
Yeah, but John.
They're your anti-hero.
Yeah, but John, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that, in this, okay, Quentin Tarantino was the director who made movies about an alternate history. Okay. But then Quentin Tarantino brought John Travolta back and put him on the big screen and presented him in a new way as a badass motherfucker in Pulp Fiction, and it changed his career. It changed his career. It gave him longevity. It brought him from obscurity. He was no longer a joke to be pitied and despised. He became one of the biggest movie stars of the 90s into the 2000s, John. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to do that for the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying there are parallels.
You're saying I could make the Klan cool again?
I'm saying that, no, what I'm saying is the Klan and John Travolta were once cool in history, right? And before we were born, like, well, I was around for Travolta. I was around for one of them. But then some time passed and then they weren't cool anymore. And then, you know, you're like Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino was able to make John Travolta cool again and loved by everyone. And you're very much like Quentin Tarantino in this analogy. That's all I'm saying.
Did you see this, Shane? Did I show you this cover?
Not completed, no. What does that say on the front of it?
Look how
What do you mean?
confused Shane is.
It says, "Here lies Paul Greer, beloved father."
He's still trying to figure. He just read it to you, Shane. You don't have to try to read it.
I'm like,
that's how
at first
bad
I thought
it
that
is.
was typed. It took me a minute to figure out it was on the actual headstone he's on. That's why it confused. I see it. That's great.
Okay.
Look at my mug. For this stream, I wanted to bring this mug out. What do you think?
Monkey, you are now more Mark Silvestri than Liefeld. I mean, that cover really is striking.
Jesus Christ, man.
I really love it.
All right. Yeah, so vampires and werewolves getting their shit together to fuck up Detroit. We have Juliet Jackson. She's a stripper by night and a paranormal investigator by midnight.
Somebody said you got a sweet ass Shane Davis cover here.
Well, let's take a look at it. Let's see how it looks.
Oh my.
Can we blow it up so we can see some details there? I want to see
so
what's
awful.
going on. It looks like he's got stakes.
Here we go. How's that?
Steaks.
He ain't hungry.
No, he's got stakes to drive through the heart of the Ku Klux Klan that he's apparently killed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fucked him up. I got a peanut in my throat.
Yeah.
Wait, you got nut in your throat? What, John?
Peanut.
Faggot.
I love it. Look at the detail on those Klansmen. That's amazing.
Yeah. Look at this. Shane went in here and drew all this blood.
Oh, no, I didn't. I like how John's like, I don't like spatter. And then you can't do spatter. And I purposely put 0 spatter in this. And then here comes the colors with spatter everywhere.
Yeah. Kyle did that.
You know, my cover is an homage to Michael Jackson's Thriller. It features Darius wearing the red leather jacket, sitting in the theater, munching on popcorn, smiling, while the entire theater is filled with the Ku Klux Klan, and they're watching the same movie he is. That's Shane. What if I did that as a cover? What would you say? Would you say, "What the hell is wrong with you"?
I probably would say, "What the hell is wrong with you?" I would. You see that the skulls I hid in the smoke? Look at that.
Wait, hold on. Smoke.
Yeah, the smoke coming out of his gun. See the skulls?
Oh, look at this. Yeah, over here.
This is how closely John Malin looked at Shane's cover for John's book. He didn't even notice the smoke rising from the pistols. Like, it took me a minute when I first looked at the image because the smoke completely got lost by Kyle Ritter's color choices here. But yeah, Shane was so proud of the smoke because it was an homage to the first comic book he ever read, blah, 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 right? But John didn't even fucking notice.
And here, look at you, Shane. Yeah.
I sent you one little note, but it's pretty much perfect.
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah, right when I was about to launch the stream here. And I was like, I probably should have checked that earlier, but I didn't have time. Just didn't have time. Yeah, it's the bottom lip has white on it.
Yeah, that's not his teeth. That's his bottom lip.
Yeah.
Well, no, the burning cross was my favorite part. I don't know why.
That's their symbol. That's why, Shane. Like
No,
that's like
you
saying,
know,
you know what I really like about the Nazis is the swastika.
Had to get that right tilt. The right, get it, John? The right tilt to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you did good, Shane. Good job.
Thank you. Yeah.
God, it's so awful. Everything about that campaign is just so awful. I guess Katie did some sort of launch kind of stream over on her channel. Malin, of course, didn't show up, but Ethan did. And TJ was in the chat listening, and oh my, did TJ have some problems with this book. How could it be racist? Oh, I don't know. Because the blood-sucking parasitical creatures are all black people. Because the raving madness of the werewolves only happens to black people. Everything bad in the book is black people. And then the KKK just misunderstood because all they're doing is killing vampires. No, okay. Whatever, dude. Whatever. But the art, man. You know, when I first glanced at this cover, I thought that was a chick. That emblem on the hoodie, like seriously, I thought was sort of bent because of shadows from some chick's tit. And then you've got this headstone. This is the words on the headstone that are behind the fingers, but in front of the dirt splash. There's absolutely no depth, and it looks like it's just tilted out the wrong fucking, the angle's all fucking wrong, the perspective's all wacky. And John's drawing these fingers now, which I guess is okay because these are all supposed to be zombies, right? But why is Darius a girl? Why is John always drawing a pretty little black girl in this book? I shit you not. The cover, the one that he had put up, it looks like... Oh, I used it in the thumbnail. Here. Let me find that damn thing. Here. Right? This is a girl's mouth. That's a girl's mouth, people. That's not a boy's mouth. That's a girl's mouth. And then he puts this little cat-like girl in a hood on top of the poorly carved headstone there. It's a girl. And then Shane's cover. Oh my Lord. Oh my. I truly believe somewhere in my heart that this was made so much worse by Kyle. The blood that he has included in this has just made it so... It's just this big, soupy soupy mess of tomato soup with marshmallows down at the bottom. It's awful. It's not even like there's it's just bad. And the white on the lip, Shane, I saw it first thing when I saw that picture. And if I was Shane, I would have just been like, sort of like, oh, bruh, motherfucker. You put that on the campaign page, dude. Dude, he ruined my art and you put it on the page. Just look at that. Now this part's cool down in the foreground where you've got the guy looking out of the mask, right? I'm a little confused as to how he's laying there exactly. But yeah, that the detail that Shane did is just completely crushed by this awful color. And may I say, what the fuck? And where are the shadows? Where are the shadows? You just got this big raging fire behind him, like his entire front should be in shadow. Most of the zombies should be covered in his shadow. Yeah, it is. Like, but still, just look how much worse Ritter fucking made it, man. Ritter made this so much worse. The light sources are all fucked up, and the biggest light source of all casts no shadow. Like, what the hell? Really? Yes, I guess shadows are racist, which is why there should have been more in there, because it's fucking John Malin's racist fucking book. And then this thing. Oh my god. Like he was trying to rip off some weird blaxploitation movie poster, for one. And two, there's something about this. I look at it and the vampire thing and the layout kind of reminds me of something, and it's been teasing at the back of my brain since last night, and I just can't pull it out. But this picture, the composition, for one, fucking sucks. Just sucks. The way it comes down on one side and it's higher, and then you got the fucking stripper pole that's way too narrow to hold anybody, and then the chick down in the front. Okay, John, good job though getting the naked feet on the cover was a good choice, because that will sell a couple of extra. It will, but this is only a 24-hour cover, so you're gonna have to fucking hurry, and it may already be too late, right? And they spent a good 10 minutes, kept coming back to this, how he colored her to make her look like plastic, which he says makes her look like she's covered in liquid, and he just wanted to continue to repeat that she was covered in cum, that he made the stripper / paranormal investigator look like she's covered in cum. And it's not even that good. Shane was getting all feeling some way because of the coin slot, man. How come you can show the coin slot? I never show the coin slot. How come you get to? Nobody said you had to cover up the coin slot in the first place, Shane. Your cover, your Indiegogo, got shadow banned for other reasons. Namely, the cross promotion and probably the violence in the trailer. So no, you never had to cover that up in the first place, you stupid idiot. Just dumb. And then you've got this. Once again, Darius is a girl. That is not a boy. Look at it. It's a girl. And then those fucking hands on the KKK dude. Yes, those are supposed to be his own hands. He's not a vampire. He's the vampire killer, right? What the fuck? Yeah, Daria is Palpatine, man. Oh. Yeah. For sure. And yeah, this cover does violate the new Indiegogo terms of service. It's fucking shit though. Look at it. Here, in all its goddamn god-awful glory. Look at that. There's nothing consistent there. And it reminds me of like some weird psychedelic poster from somewhere, is what it is. But it's all like the texture's all inconsistent, the coloring, the shading, the saturation. I know, it's saturation. Like it's all it's not cohesive, John. It's not cohesive. And that's my problem with it. Yeah, right. A little funkadelic, that acid kind of shit. It's what it kind of reminds me of. And I know the big vampire on the side, his big face, is a direct ripoff of something. When I took the cover and I reverse image searched it on Google, like the first thing to come up was like illustrations of naked breasted women with their legs spread open. Like, so it was of no help whatsoever. I think it got distracted by the stripper / paranormal investigator down in the foreground of the cover. Yeah, and it does look kind of like Blade, but I think that's just because the way it's colored. I'm not even sure the character, I don't know. I didn't read the stupid book, the first one. But this time around, the KKK is going to be saying the word nigger with a hard R, says John Malin. It does kind of look like, it does give that vibe. Like, it really does. Does she look like a magician assistant when the cutting a girl in half trick goes wrong to anyone else? Yeah, a little bit. And another thing about it, look at she has no abdomen. Man, it's like her rib cage just goes straight into her hip somehow. I understand she's supposed to be turned or something, but this just goes to show you that John Malin doesn't have a real woman in his life he could ask to pose on the floor like that, because that's just all wrong. It's just fucking wrong on way too many levels. Way too many. I also, I did have one small clip that I'm going to play on the way out from that stream. In case you didn't notice, there were a couple of instances in there where Ethan was like, "This is Kyle? Kyle did this? Oh my, Kyle did it. Wow." And this is an expansion on that. It's going to be the last thing. I'm not even going to say goodnight after, so I'm going to say goodnight now. Listen, if you guys think I should move this to 9 o'clock instead of 10 o'clock or even 9:30 on Mondays, I really just can't do. I want to enjoy my fucking life, and I don't want to be spending an entire day editing. A few hours here and there, spread over 2 days. It'll be way better. I'm really tired of not eating. until 11:30 at night. So let me know. And that's it. Everybody have a fabulous week. If no, it's 2 weeks from now, so even that won't happen. But if anything pops off, who knows? Maybe I'll hop on and talk to you guys about it. But here we go. We can giggle at Ethan a little on the way out.
Yeah.
Right.
Then Kyle went in there and put that big crazy lightning bolt in.
Is it really Kyle? Kyle is the colorist here.
Yeah. Look, right here.
Oh my God. I haven't seen work from him. I'm sending him Rainbow the Brute pages. I'm like, when? And he told me Monday I would see something, and then nothing. It's like now going to be this coming Monday, different Monday.
That's crazy because I asked him to get these to me in 6 days, and he got them to me in 4. I didn't have to wait, Ethan.
All right, good to know.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah,
Kyle, he'll come through. He'll come through for you.
He'll come through.
Good night, everybody.